Is there too much hype around Visions of Eternity, Guild Wars 2's next expansion? This is the topic that we want to debate today. I want to give you my expectation versus reality analysis. Is the hype worth it that we have currently going on with the expansion? And what we can really expect of this new expansion. So be sure to watch the whole video to not miss out a thing. As always, special shout out to all my supporters on YouTube, Twitch and Patreon that help me keep the lights on. And now, without much further ado, let's jump straight in. So let's start with biggest selling point and biggest feature, not only for me, but probably for most people here watching, is elite specs. Yes, we will get 9 new elite specs. Each class will get 1 new elite spec. So that is just amazing in my opinion. It's crazy good that we get new elite specs that are hopefully also looking very good. I personally would say they are looking decent. They will probably be absolutely broken. Let's see if the class fantasy and stuff for all of them is decent. Right now I would say most of them look quite nice, but I will judge when I played all of them, not before that. In general, I'm happy that we get elite specs and not weapons. Yes, some people might say, oh, a new weapon would be really cool. I personally think the hype about the elite specs is amazing. I think that's completely justified. Why is that? Because I think the elite specs are something that we were dearly missing in the last 2 expansions, and with this expansion we get the elite specs. And the elite specs are really things that even if we don't get a lot of content, which we will talk about later, how much content we will get in this expansion, but I think even with not much content, we actually can go back to old content and play something new, the new elite specs, and we'll have a lot of fun because the elite specs are changing the old content in a way that we didn't get before. So we can play, for example, the troubadour and share distortion to allies. That is just amazing and stuff like that. And we have fun doing Veil Guardian for the 200th time or doing Octavine for the 1000th time, whatever. This is not really a big problem that we didn't have before. Because before we did just get new content, maybe a new weapon, and that's it. So we would go back to the old content, would maybe have some fun with the new weapon, but it would not change the complete playstyle. Whereas the troubadour, for example, or just any new elite spec will completely change how you play your class and will have a lot of fun even in the older content. So this is what I would say. The hype is definitely justified about this. And we will judge how the elite specs turn out to be when all of them are being playable. But I personally am just really of the opinion that this is a big plus for the expansion that we didn't have with the last 2. So as always, let me know your takes in the comments down below. But now let's talk about the next point. And this one is a little bit more of a hot one. Instance content. So instance content will come with the expansion. Yes, we know there will be 2 raid style encounters. So we will probably get 2 bosses that will be summarized in the new raid and strike missions because they will be merged. We will talk about that later as well. But this is already confirmed. 2 bosses that have the multiple different difficulty settings. So normal mode, challenge mode, and legendary mode as far as I know. So this is good for people that enjoy those modes. It's a little bit sad for people that don't care about those, because of course this means that there are like 2 resource heavy things coming that are not for them. That's always a problem, but you will also get convergences, or at least 1 convergences with those challenge modes. That's good. We don't know if it's the same bosses or if it's something else, but we will get a convergence as well. And we get a new fractal with this challenge mode as well. So that's quite nice. I'm looking forward to that as someone that enjoys instant content, but it's a lot of development effort put into those instance content. And I would say it's still not enough for a lot of people to keep playing tryhard in those content, because just 1 raid a year with 2 bosses only now is not a lot. We got a lot of raids in like 1 year in the past. Yes, that is still a different expansion model, I get that, but if you're looking for crazy tryhard, a lot of instance content coming with the expansion, I would say look to a different game. This is just not the case. I think instance content Guild Wars 2 is nice, we get a decent amount of it, but we don't get anywhere close to World of Warcraft, the Final Fantasy of that. Just keep that in mind. This is, for me, as someone that plays all game modes, not a big deal, but for someone that only plays instance content, I can see why this is a problem, even with the elite specs coming. So I would say the hype around the instance content is somewhat medium in terms of expectation for reality. I would say we can't expect too much, but I think the stuff that we will get is probably really good. Before I go to the next topic, which would be the maps, I want to mention, if you like this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. But now let's talk about the maps. We already know there will be probably 2 maps with the expansion release. That is cool. I think this looks really nice with those tropical islands maps. I think that's quite nice. and we will get no map with the following update, but we will get one 6 months after release of the expansion and another one 9 months after the expansion. So we will get in total 4 maps with the expansion. I don't know how big they will be, but I think the exploration and general look and atmosphere of the map will probably be quite cool. I'm always excited to get new maps. Hopefully they have meta events on there and not some kind of like Lowland Shore, no meta event and stuff, because that's always a little bit sad for the longevity. So I would say the map design and atmosphere is definitely living up to the hype, I would say, but we will not get just crazy amount of big maps and crazy amounts of content that we got with Path of Fire, Heart of Thorns, where we got like over 10 maps with one expansion. This will not happen. Keep that in mind. So I would say the amount will probably not be crazy, but the quality, I'm really hoping that we will live up to the expectation. That's my take there. And the same goes for the story, which is the next topic. I really think that the story should really be like good again, because I think a lot of story nerds did not really enjoy the ending or just the general pace of the last few seasons or last few expansion storylines. So I really hope that the storyline for those people that enjoy that are actually living up to Guild Wars 2, I don't know, level of quality. I really hope so. I can't judge because I'm not someone that is deep into the lore, but I really hope that this is still worthwhile for them to play, and I really hope that the story instances at least feel somewhat alive and it's not something that you have to press F all the time and then listen to some slow bear talking and then you go out of the story. I think that's not good. I want to have some good story instances where I actually get some gameplay as well. But that's just my take. Next feature that I want to talk about is fashion templates. So fashion templates, I made a whole video about. Be sure to check that one out. Link is in the description on the top right hand corner. And fashion templates are big plus for the community. I think Guild Wars 2, a lot of players really enjoy engaging with the skin system of Guild Wars 2 and the transmog features. So I really think that's good that we get fashion templates. They will be somewhat close to the equipment templates. That's already confirmed. I don't know how they will be monetized, but the expectation is they will be monetized to some extent. We will get some for free, but we will have to purchase additional ones for gems, I guess. And I think the expectation is that they will work quite well. My real concern is that it's not changing too much with the infusion system or the outfits and stuff. I really hope that it will change a lot of stuff, like I talked in the video about, that the infusions will be somewhat integrated in this feature and that we get some really cool infusion and wardrobe feature like that. I really hope so, because that would be amazing. And that is already leading to the next thing here, the core features. We get a core feature update. And I think this is actually the biggest question mark. Is this core feature update something amazing? Will it live up to the hype that we get raids and strike missions merged into one? Or will that just be the merge of the raids and the strikes and that's it? Nothing else is really coming? That we get one currency and that's it? I really hope that the core features are reworked to the core world. And again, I make a big video about this, what kind of core features I want to see and what I think is likely. Be sure to check that one out. Link is in the description again. But I personally think the core features, I would say I can't give any expectation or reality there, because my expectation is that it will be good and helps the game. But that could be completely misjustified, because maybe they are just saying, we want to make some kind of bug fixes, change a little bit of the fashion templates and the raid UI, and that's it. I really hope that this is living up to the expansion quality and hype that we get. So yeah, let me know your takes on that as well. I personally think that might be a biggest good selling point of the expansion, or something a big downfall if there is almost nothing changing too much about the core game. I really hope that this is not the case. And the last one that I have up here is Legendaries. I personally think Legendaries is a really big thing of Guild Wars 2, because that's the big grinding thing. Yes, not every player engages with it, but if you're a long-term player and a veteran that wants to play the game for longer, you typically want to go for the new shiny things that you get. So it's really nice that we now got confirmed 3 weapons that will come with the expansion. We get the legendary Aqua Breather, we get a legendary ring, and we will get a legendary accessory. So that's quite nice as well. I'm quite looking forward to that we have so many different things that we will get. And I personally hope that those legendaries are really nicely integrated in the release of the updates and also in the release of the expansion, so that we have something to grind on day one, and that they will be integrated in some kind of longevity of those maps, and they just have a lot of fun doing that. And that's not only a gold sink. And of course, I also hope that they are looking good, but I don't care too much if it's completely ugly in terms of my eyes. That's not good, but it doesn't have to be the best legendary for my look, because I will go for it anyway. But this is obviously just in terms of a long-term player. I can see why people that are not engaging as new players with legendaries, that's not a big thing. So I'm just happy that we get 6 new legendaries. That's way more than we got in the last 2 expansions in terms of just looks. Soto gave us more, yes, but I would say Chantia Wilds was a little bit sparse with that. I personally would say in general, if I would summarize here what kind of hype is like justified and which not, I would say the elite specs are the big selling point of the expansion. If the fashion templates and core features live up to it, I think they can also be a nice selling point of it, even though we will get it for the core game as well. And I personally think that the maps and the instance content is really the thing together with the story, where you would say, is it real that the hype is worth it? Typically, I would say purchasing the expansion, pre-ordering, using my referral link by the way, is only worth it for players that want to play a lot of elite specs, want to have fun, and want to enjoy the new maps. But I would say it is not as big as Heart of Thorns and Path of Fire, so if you have the expectation of something like that, this will never come back. But I think the elite specs looking really good, and I also think that the instance content and stuff is quite nice. So if you enjoy that kind of stuff, I think the reality is actually quite positive. I think the only people that are a little bit setback are people that want to get a lot of maps that are really big, a lot of meta events. That's just not gonna happen. We will just get 4 maps in the course of a year, which is not bad, but it's definitely not where we had it before. So I would say the expectation versus reality, if there's too much hype around Visions of Eternity, I would say it depends who you asked. I personally think the hype is justified, but I'm also someone that enjoys playing different builds and stuff, so elite specs are big in carrying this thing here. Like I said, let me know your takes in the comments down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. If you're now like hyped for the Visions of Eternity expansion, be sure to check out my video about pre-ordering and which edition you should get and which one you shouldn't. Be sure to check that out here. Thanks again to all my supporters, and I hope to see you all in the next video.